Hey everyone, welcome to 3-Minute History. Today we're diving into an electrifying tale of oil, compromise, and a bold vision. It's 1959 and Canada's oil world is buzzing. Prime Minister John Diefenbaker lands a game changer, Canada's effective exemption from America's mandatory oil import program. Thanks to Diefenbaker's pal, President Dwight D. Eisenhower, or Ike, Alberta's crude keeps flowing south. But by 1961, trouble's brewing. Western Canada's oil is still piling up. They're desperate for markets, while Montreal is hooked on cheap overseas imports from Venezuela and the Middle East. There's another push to extend the interprovincial oil pipeline from Sarnia to Montreal and move Alberta's oil into Quebec and the Maritimes. The job of the newly created National Energy Board is to figure out how to solve this dilemma and recommend policy options for the government. It's about to get intense. Meet the masterminds, Ian McKinnon, the NEB's first chair, a sharp, no-nonsense leader from Alberta who sees the big picture. He's backed by board members like Robert D. Howland, a policy expert from the Borden Commission days, Douglas M. Fraser, former director of energy studies under C.D. Howe, Lee Briggs of the BC Power Commission, and Maurice Royer, a professor of civil engineering at Laval University. This crew is given the mission of detangling Canada's oil problem. They studied the issue for a whole year, hearing from independent and major oil producers, the provinces affected, reviewing American policies, and revisiting the Borden Commission's recommendations. At the end of 1960, after weighing all the options, they send Diefenbaker's cabinet their recommendation, and it's a stroke of genius that could create certainty. The National Energy Board's plan revives the Borden Line, or Ottawa Valley Line, from the 1959 Royal Commission report. After some debate in cabinet, Diefenbaker's government gives the green light in early 1961. The deal? West of the Ottawa River, the Borden Line runs on Alberta oil. East of it sticks to cheaper imports from Venezuela and the Middle East. Quebec and the Maritimes love the low prices, but recoil at paying more for Alberta's oil, choosing to prioritize savings over a secure national supply. The compromise keeps Alberta's oil flowing south to the United States, preserving the 1959 exemption for now, but it ties Canada's oil exports to American policy whims, a vulnerability we'll visit in a future episode. Spring 1961 hits and the policy's alive. The NEB's compromise fuels economic growth, boosting Alberta's oil industry while keeping Eastern Canada's costs low. But the reliance on U.S. markets and cheap imports sets the stage for trouble, especially when the 1973 oil crisis shocks the world. Stay tuned for that story. So that's the national oil policy, a brilliant fix from Ian McKinnon and the NEB crew that turned oil into a national triumph, but with challenges looming. That's it for today's adventure into history.